Nepal, a country nestled in the heart of Himalayas, renowned for its breathtaking landscapes and vibrant cultural heritage. However, behind its scenic beauty lies a tapestry of challenges that shape the lives of its people and the destiny of the nation. Nepal's natural resources are not only important for its tourism industry and the livelihood of its people, but they also play a crucial role in mitigating the effects of climate change. The country's forests, rivers, and biodiversity are essential for maintaining the ecological balance of the region and providing ecosystem services such as water regulation, carbon sequestration, and soil conservation. However, these resources are under threat from deforestation, overgrazing, and unsustainable land use practices. The depletion of forests and the degradation of other natural resources have weakened the Himalayan mountain ranges' natural barrier against the impacts of climate change, making Nepal more vulnerable to the effects of floods, landslides, and droughts. The Nepali government has recognized the importance of protecting Nepal's natural resources and has implemented policies such as the National Adaptation Program of Action (NAPA) to address the impacts of climate change. The government has also established protected areas such as national parks and wildlife reserves to conserve biodiversity and promote sustainable tourism. However, more needs to be done to ensure the sustainability of Nepal's natural resources and to protect the country and its people from the effects of climate change. The international community can play a crucial role in supporting Nepal's efforts to address environmental challenges and promote sustainable development. International aid and investment can help fund conservation projects, promote sustainable agriculture and forestry practices, and support the development of renewable energy sources. The private sector can also contribute by adopting sustainable business practices and investing in eco-friendly technologies. In conclusion, Nepal's natural resources are essential for the country's economic development, the health and well-being of its people, and the global fight against climate change. The depletion of these resources poses a significant threat to Nepal's future, and urgent action is needed to protect them. The government and international community must work together to address environmental challenges and promote sustainable development in Nepal. By doing so, we can ensure that Nepal's natural beauty and cultural heritage are preserved for the future generation, and that the country's people can enjoy a prosperous and sustainable future. Nepal's economic struggles have also been exacerbated by a lack of infrastructure and investment in key sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing. The country's agricultural sector, which employs over 70% of the population, is largely subsistence-based and lacks modern technology and equipment. This has led to low productivity and a lack of competitiveness in the global market. Similarly, the manufacturing sector is underdeveloped, with many Nepali businesses struggling to compete with cheaper imports from neighboring countries. Furthermore, Nepal's geography presents unique challenges to economic development. The country's mountainous terrain makes transportation and communication difficult, which has hindered trade and investment. The lack of access to reliable electricity and internet connectivity has also limited the growth of industries such as IT and e-commerce. Despite these challenges, the Nepali government has made some efforts to promote economic growth and development. The government has implemented policies to attract foreign investment, such as tax incentives and streamlined bureaucratic procedures. The tourism industry has also been a focus of government efforts, with initiatives to promote Nepal as a destination for adventure tourism and cultural tourism. However, progress has been slow, and Nepal remains one of the poorest nations in the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has further exacerbated the country's economic struggles, with the tourism industries coming to a standstill and remittances from abroad decreasing. The government has implemented measures such as cash transfers and food assistance to support those most affected by the pandemic. But the long-term economic impact remains uncertain. In conclusion, Nepal's economic struggles are a major challenge for the country and its people. The lack of infrastructure, investment, and economic opportunities has led to high rates of poverty and unemployment. While the government has made some efforts to address these issues, progress has been slow, and the COVID-19 pandemic has further complicated the situation. It is important for the international community to support Nepal's efforts to promote economic growth and development, as a stable and prosperous Nepal would benefit not only its own people but also the region as a whole. The impact of political instability and corruption in Nepal cannot be overstated. It has not only eroded the trust of the Nepali people in their government, but has also hindered the country's ability to attract foreign investment and aid. The lack of transparency and accountability in government institutions has made it difficult for civil society organizations and the media to hold those in power accountable. This has created a culture of impunity, where those in power can act with impunity, knowing that they are unlikely to face any consequences for their actions. Addressing these issues of political instability and corruption is crucial for Nepal's development and for restoring the trust of its citizens and the international community. It requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders to promote transparency, accountability, and good governance. Only then can Nepal move towards a more stable and prosperous future, where its people can enjoy the benefits of economic growth, social development, and political stability. The Nepali government must take concrete steps to address corruption and promote good governance, such as strengthening anti-corruption laws, increasing transparency in government institutions, and ensuring that those who engage in corrupt practices are held accountable. The international community can also play a crucial role in supporting Nepal's efforts to address corruption and promote good governance by providing technical assistance, funding, and expertise. The international community can help Nepal build the institutions and systems necessary to promote transparency, accountability, and good governance. Ultimately, addressing corruption and promoting good governance is not only crucial for Nepal's development, but also for the well-being of its people. It is only by creating a culture of transparency, accountability, and a good governance that Nepal can move towards a more stable and prosperous future. The caste system in Nepal is deeply ingrained in the country's social fabric and has been a source of discrimination and inequality for centuries. Dalits, who are considered to be at the bottom of the caste hierarchy, face systemic oppression and exclusion from mainstream society. They are often denied access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities, and are subjected to various forms of discrimination and violence. Despite the government efforts to address these issues, progress has been slow, and many perpetrators of human rights abuses continue to go unpunished. Women and girls in Nepal are also at risk of violence and discrimination. Domestic violence, rape, and human trafficking are prevalent issues, with many cases going unreported and unpunished. Women and girls are often denied access to education and healthcare and are subjected to various forms of discrimination and violence. The government and civil society organizations must work together to promote human rights and ensure that all members of society are treated with dignity and respect. Only then can Nepal move towards a more just and equitable society, where all citizens have the opportunity to thrive and reach their full potential. It is crucial for the government to take concrete steps to address these issues, such as strengthening laws and policies to protect the rights of marginalized communities and ensuring that perpetrators of human rights abuses are held accountable. Civil society organizations can also play a crucial role in promoting human rights and advocating for the rights of marginalized communities. By working together, the government and civil society organizations can create a more just and equitable society for all Nepalis. Nepal's education and healthcare systems are in dire need of improvement. The country's literacy rate is just 65%, which is significantly lower than the global average. Many children lack access to quality education, and the situation is even worse in rural areas, where schools are often understaffed and lack basic resources such as textbooks and classrooms. The lack of access to education has a significant impact on the country's development, as it limits the opportunities available to Nepalis and hinders their ability to contribute to the economy. Similarly, the healthcare system in Nepal is severely underfunded, with many Nepalis lacking access to even basic healthcare services. The country has a shortage of qualified doctors and nurses, and many rural areas lack access to even basic healthcare services. This has led to high rates of preventable diseases such as tuberculosis and malaria, which could be easily treated with proper medical care. The lack of access to healthcare has a significant impact on the quality of life of Nepalis, particularly those living in rural areas. The government has been slow to address these issues, and as a result, Nepal's education and healthcare systems are severely lacking. The government spends just 3.6% of its GDP on healthcare, which is significantly lower than the global average. Similarly, the government spends just 3.2% of its GDP on education, which is also lower than the global average. The lack of investment in these critical areas has a significant impact on the lives of Nepalis, particularly those living in poverty. To address these issues, the government of Nepal needs to prioritize investment in education and healthcare. This investment should focus on improving access to quality education and healthcare services, particularly in rural areas. The government should also invest in training and hiring more qualified teachers and healthcare professionals to address the shortage of staff in these critical areas. In addition to government investment, there is also a role for international aid and support. Many organizations are working to improve education and healthcare in Nepal, and their efforts should be supported and expanded. International aid can help to fill the gaps in funding and resources, particularly in rural areas where the need is greatest. In conclusion, Nepal's education and healthcare systems are severely lacking, with many Nepalis lacking access to even basic services. The government of Nepal needs to prioritize investment in these critical areas to improve the quality of life of its citizens and promote economic development. So, is Nepal really the worst country in the world? Based on the issues we have discussed today, it is clear that Nepal has a lot of problems. The country is facing significant economic, environmental, and political challenges, and its human rights record leave a lot to be desired. However, it is also important to remember that Nepal is a country with a rich cultural heritage and some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. The Nepali people are resilient and hardworking, and despite the challenges they face, they continue to strive for a better future. We hope that this video has shed some light on the issues facing Nepal and has encouraged you to learn more about this fascinating country. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.